to know what it's really like living in a particular neighborhood of Kirkland, then this is the video for you. I'm Veronica Morss, your local Kirkland neighbor. I've lived here for about 15-20 years. I absolutely love it, and I've lived in almost every neighborhood around here. I'm also your local Kirkland real estate broker. So we are going to go into each area, each neighborhood, and really show you what's the vibe, what are the home prices like, what does it feel like living there, how close it is to certain areas of Bellevue or Seattle. And I'm going to just show you what, in my opinion, is going to help you out down the road choosing your particular Kirkland neighborhood. So let's see what Kirkland has to offer. All right, welcome to the Kirkland map, which I am sure you have seen. Now, Kirkland is going to be predominant, I mean, this is a very non-accurate line, but you know, right around this area here is going to be all of Kirkland. And what it is it's to be divided into two zip codes. So also just about rough, but right around here, we're going to have 98034 zip code to the north. And then we're going to also have 98033 down here. Predominantly, I'd say 98033 has always been a little bit more desired. The proximity to the boutique downtown Kirkland, the proximity to the water. So we do tend to see those prices be a little bit higher than 98034. But of course, just like anything, it depends on the area that you're in. But we're seeing a lot of change in 98034, which is always exciting. So I am going to, really give you kind of the nitty gritty and my personal opinion about each neighborhood, things to do. We're going to talk about the homes available, and we're going to start south. So first, though, as we talk about the two different zip codes, I thought it'd be great to share one of these. So these are our recent stats. If you can see this is the local market update for 98033 in the last December. So December's numbers kind of hard to take. We're in January right now, but you can just see, all right, 98033, we have a median sales price of 2.385, average is 2.297. Actually, it's very rare that I see that median higher than the average. So that's great. We have condos here, median sales price about 1.47 and 1.476 for average on condos in this zip code. Again, this is taking December's numbers only. And then if we go 98034, you're going to see a very big drop from 2.3 to $1,050,000 and 1.2. And we're going to talk about each neighborhood. In 98034, there are a lot of grand homes. These numbers actually are pretty low, especially the condos here at 378 and 468. But there are a lot more condos in that area than 98033. So we are going to go back here, and I am going to start with Bridle Trails. So Bridle Trails is this, about this neighborhood. Oops, let me get in here. Bridle Trails is about, we're looking around here. This is a great area. As just points on it, you are close to really easy access to get on 405 here, really easy access to get on 520 or get to 405 through the south as well. Now 520, if you are unaware, so this is the 520 bridge, okay? This is one of the bridges that connect downtown Seattle. So if you're looking in Bridle Trails, you know that you're going to have a quick access to 520 to get over to Seattle. If there is no traffic, you could get down there in 15 to 18 minutes if you're a fast driver, depending on where you are going in Seattle. But I will say that if there's traffic, you're probably looking at, anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes. So it just depends on the day. But what Bridle Trails is known for is the state park right here. So there is a huge state park right in the middle. What's a fun fact is there's a lot of equestrian here in Bridle Trails, which is really hard to find in a big city. So when you're living here, you are surrounded by a lot of trees. You have the state park. You'll see horses coming through the park as well. The houses here are going to be a little bit, a lot of larger lots, a lot of larger homes, but you really feel like you are away from the city, but you just cross over and then you're in downtown Kirkland, which is great. As for, things to do, you're going to definitely have Bridle Trails State Park trails, go walk the dog in there. This is, let me make my brush here. So like Pro Club, this is technically going to be Bellevue, but the proximity to the Pro Club is a very nice gym, club for families. They've got a lot of activities for kids and so forth. So that's really close. We also have a driving range here. We also have a grass lawn park, which is just over here. This is technically considered Redmond, so you have a border of Redmond and Kirkland down here. Bellevue. But Grassland Park's a great area as well. And then if you're wondering, like, where am I going to go grocery shopping? What am I going to do? Are there restaurants nearby? This is going to be a little bit more of a residential area, but you are close to everything. So if you are living somewhere here, you're either going to go south and go to Bellevue, and there's going to be Mercury's Coffee, which is great. You do have some shopping over here, Fred Meyer, which is going to be, I mean, most people should know what Fred Meyer is, and Marshall's and things like that. Or if you're kind of staying in your Kirkland bubble and just need a quick something, this is going to be if you're looking here. So this is the area here. You've got you have a grocery outlet, but you also have, your Ace Hardware. You have a UPS store in here. And so, if you need to drop off your things, packages, it's all right there. There is a little Anytime Fitness. So you have, everything that you need, Starbucks. And then this over here, which I think is, it's kind of a hidden disguise, Thirsty Hop. This place is great. It's a little, it's a sushi, beer, they have some wine as well, but this place has great sushi, and it's a very cool little place, just, a neighborhood spot, and it's really good. And the people that work there and the owners are awesome. And then we also have a little coffee shop right here, which is great. Coffee and sandwiches if you work from home and just need to get away. So that is Bridle Trails, and those are the many things you're going to do immediately that are going to be immediate next to you. However, the drive to get from Bridle Trails to downtown Kirkland is, you're looking at, 5 to 10 minutes. So if that, but you have a great proximity to downtown Kirkland. You can also take this road off. You don't have to be on the freeway. You can take this road and get to downtown Bellevue really quickly as well, which is just going to have absolutely everything you need. So Bridle Trails, super convenient, and lots of great homes. So if we go into the home aspect of it, and you're like, well, what's it cost to live there? We're going to have larger homes on larger lots, and pricing is going to be a little bit higher. If we take a quick look of the active homes here, so I just put Bridle Trails as anything. Here's 4.6, but it's 5,000 square feet. Here's 2.7 million. It's older, 4,500 square feet. You have 3.512, but what's that? It's a kind of a fixer on a busy street. I know this house, but so there is possibility if you are looking for homes in the over 2,000 square feet, that median or average over the last 6 months or so are going to be about 2.8 million plus. If you want a larger home that's like 4,000 square feet, you're looking at 3 million plus to 5 million. But again, big homes, and you're going to find some acreage, which is really nice. All right. So that's the scoop on Bridle Trails. Great if you just want to be away, but also somewhat close. If you don't love having neighbors right next to you, there are some amazing opportunities here. Next up, we're going to start south and go north. We're going to talk about Houghton. Now, Houghton's I really like Houghton as well. It's a smaller neighborhood, but you're on the west of 405. You are very close to downtown Kirkland, and the walkability is actually pretty great. Now, if you're like, well, what am I doing in Houghton? Well, it is going to be rather residential. You can kind of see there's not a lot of commercial space, but what you are going to have really close by. So if you're here, again, proximity to everything is going to be really easy. So if you are in the central Houghton, you can either come up here really quick, get down to 405. You can also take a couple different roads to get to 520 again to get to Seattle. And then also you can take all of these roads and just go straight to downtown Bellevue. So if you're here to downtown Bellevue, no traffic, you could get here in 6 to 8 minutes pretty easily. All right. What's going to be near here? So you're going to have a couple different options for shopping. I mean, the closest and most convenient if you're here is going to be this Metropolitan Market. Now, we have, I don't know what your fancy grocery store is in your city, but there is Metropolitan Market here. There's PCC, you know, lots of natural and organic stuff. Great spot if you want to spend extra on groceries, but it is just a great store and they have really great stuff. So you're going to have Metropolitan Market here. There's also, you know, nails. You have a dry cleaner here, Starbucks. There is another little sushi spot here. And if you are a Google person, the Google building is going to be right here. So again, from the map, we're looking at Houghton's here. All the residential area is here, shopping, and then Google is here. What is great about Houghton is that you're walkable to get Lake Washington Boulevard. Now this is a great walk, you know, you just walk along the lake, it gets you to downtown Kirkland. But if you are in Houghton, I mean, there's multiple ways to just hop down to Lakeview or hop down to Lake Washington Boulevard, walk either way. And then what's also great about Houghton is that you have the Kirkland Corridor Trail. Now the Kirkland Corridor Trail is a long trail. Like, I don't know if you can see this dotted line here where it says Kirkland Corridor, but it goes, you know, really far up over here, and it actually goes down to North Bellevue. It's a gravel path and it's elevated, so there are parts you can see the water, but it's just a great walk. And you can take this, so it's great is that depending on where you are in Houghton, if you can hop on the, you know, if you're here and then you need to walk through the streets to get to the corridor, you can walk the corridor and then get off the corridor to get to Lake Washington Boulevard, walk to downtown, whichever it may be. And it also crosses over near Metropolitan Market. So you could walk on the trail, go get your groceries and come back. So it is a great spot. Like I said, more residential. The homes here, they're going to be, you know, being on the west side, they're also going to be on the pricier side. And let's take a look at what those look like right now. These are just active homes. So I would say, you know, I've seen homes here for less than $2 million. I really have. But I think if you're looking for an average 2,000 square feet plus home, you're looking at about $2.5 million plus. I've seen also homes that are $4 to $5 million, just depending on the views and the space. But here we have an 1,800 square foot home at $2 million. This is brand new. There's just not a ton available right now. This is a townhouse at $1.7 million. This is going to be up by the freeway, but it's 1.6 for 1,800 square feet. So, you know, you can find things below 2. They're going to be smaller, but I'd say if you're looking above 2,000 square feet, you are in that mid 2 million range. And then if you're really, you know, trying to get something new and with a views or large, you know, you're looking at 4.5, and I've seen things up to 5 million. Okay, so that is Houghton. And really quick, this area before I move on, so we're gonna move north here to Rose Hill. We're gonna kind of switch back a little bit. Now this area here, this is all like kind of Lakeview, what we call, okay, on Lake Street, Lakeview Drive. These I'm not gonna go into because it is such a unique and niche area, but these are a lot of condos, okay? There are some homes, we see an array of different homes, but I will say that condos, you know, we've seen 1 bedrooms in some buildings cost $500,000. There's buildings here that there are units that cost $7+ million. So it just depends. But this street and this area are going to be a lot of townhomes, a couple inline streets with, condos, a couple inline streets with townhomes. And then we're going to see a few homes here and there, but I didn't want to super deep dive. So if you would like to more, just let me know on that. Before I go further, I forgot to talk about the schools in kind of the Houghton and Bridle Trails area. Lots of 8s and 9s. The high school is going to be Lake Washington High School, which is a 10, I believe. And there's a few. So there is Lakeview, it's rated a 7, but you have a mixture of 8 and 9s with elementary schools. So most areas in Kirkland are going to have those great schools. We do have 1 7 in there and a few others here. So all right, that is going to be Central, Houghton, and Bridle Trails. All right, as we move to Rose Hill, this is kind of, it's a very, I don't know, I won't say unique, but there's a lot of opportunity happening in Rose Hill. So there's a big freeway reconstruction where they're putting in a big transit center right over here. So Rose Hill, we have South Rose Hill, and we have North Rose Hill over here, okay? Now, let me move in here. Okay, sorry about that. So North Rose Hill, South Rose Hill. We have Costco that's right here, so that's convenient. Northeast 85th just is a busy street that has Safeway, it has coffee, it has Starbucks, and this is a main road that's going to connect to the 405. And they are doing a huge project in reconstructing this transit center here. And I mean, before, a while back, Google was actually going to buy this area here of the car dealership. They backed out, but I think there could be opportunity for things going in there. What I will say about this area too is that this is all going to be torn down. Part of it is already going. It's mixed commercial use, and we also have another big project happening over here. I don't know if you can see this. So over here we have this is all about to go down. So we have two areas that they let you drive by it now and they don't look that great, but over the years we're going to probably see a lot of pretty buildings going up, mixed commercial use, and we know how that changes an area. Now, as for just lifestyle, there isn't anything crazy to discuss. The high school is right here, which is great. Again, really high rating high school. This is all residential. You do have quick access if you want to get down to downtown Kirkland. You're 5 minutes. You can also get down to Redmond this way, which is also less than 10 minutes. North Rose Hill here is going to be really close. You're just one street to downtown Totem Lake, which has Trader Joe's and Whole Foods and lots of things. So it's a great residential area. I think as for what you should know about it is that there is a big power line that runs on, it's like 125th, all right? So 128th, 126th. So there is this power line that here. So if you are looking at homes, especially some new constructions, you have to just make sure that that's something that either you're okay with or to stay away from. It does, take down the value of your home. But just to note, there is going to be a big one there. Elementary, one of these here. And what we're going to see in Rose Hill is a lot of cottages. And I'm going to explain what cottages are. Cottages are essentially what builders have if they've taken a home on a larger lot, not even a huge lot, just larger lot. They tear down the home and they put 3 cottages. Now these cottages are usually anywhere from like 1,100 square feet to 1,300 or 1,500 square feet, brand new, 1-car garage, 3 bedrooms, but they're kind of mini homes that are on one lot together, but it's to get people to be able to afford living in Kirkland. I mean, these cottages are going for about 1.3 to 1.5 million. So that does skew some of our numbers here. So I'm going to just show you what the active homes are kind of in Rose Hill. So right here we have a 1.8 million with 2,500 square feet. That's great. We have 1,025,000. This is like a townhome. So 2 bedrooms, 1,200 square feet. You can go also to new construction that is going to be closer to 4 million, but larger homes. So we have a big array, but the cottages are very prominent in Rose Hill. So depending on what you're looking for, but there's an array of places. Here are some more cottages, $1 million, 1,300 square feet, or you have new constructions in the high 3s. So that's what we're seeing. I have seen older homes, if you're looking at like 2,000 square feet, I have seen older homes that you still can get, 1.6 to 1.8 is reasonable for that area. So that's Rose Hill. We're going to hop to the other side again because this is, as we get into Totem Lake and Kingsgate, we'll make our way up there, but we're going to go focus on the west side now of 405 because these are, I would say like the elite Kirkland neighborhoods. All right, now we're going to move to the creme de la creme of Kirkland. This is the star of Kirkland. This is what we call downtown Kirkland. There are going to be a lot of other neighborhood, neighborhoods around here. However, so whether you're coming from, we've talked about Bridle Trails, we've talked about Houghton, Rose Hill, regardless, any one of these areas, you can get to Kirkland, depending on where you are, 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. And this is where, people hang out with restaurants and do some shopping. There's a lot of great stuff. So there's a park right here. As for shopping, you're going to have, it's going to be PCC markets, which was a kind of similar, like I told you, to Metropolitan Market. So PCC is here. There's a huge QFC right here that is part of, I think, Ralph's, down in California. I can't remember exactly, but QFC is a big one. QFC actually has a bar in the grocery store so that you can have a drink and do your shopping. All right. We have a lot of coffee shops. There's Five Stones, which is a personal favorite. Zoka is a personal favorite as well, and lots of people love that. Through Line. So, there's multiple coffee shops within a very small proximity. Bank, and then here is going to be the marina. You can park your boat overnight here in the summer. This is just a great place to walk. Again, restaurants, some of my favorites that I'm just going to point out really quick, like Volterra, great place that is a mid-range Italian restaurant if you're looking for something not super fancy, but you don't want bad Italian food that night. All right. There's a champagne bar called Pop down here. I don't know if we can see it. This is also another one of my favorites. If you like champagne, it's great. They have a fun environment as well. If you've done Purpose, sorry, I'm getting lost here, but Purpose Boutique, there's shopping here, there's a gym here. So lots to do. No missing out on anything. So this area is going to be Moss Bay in regards to residential homes. So, if you're in Moss Bay, you're in this is all such an awesome location because you can walk to anything. These streets are mostly homes. So if you're here, you're kind of away from the craziness of downtown Kirkland in the summer especially, but you can just take a walk down and it's very quick. There's also the marina down here. If you have a boat, this is the Kirkland Marina down here. So you can have your boat, in the summer, get off of it, walk home. It's very convenient. Homes here are going to just kind of be a little bit all over the place because there are going to be a lot of condos, and there are going to be, these are homes that are going to be smaller homes on smaller lots for the most part. So we'll take a look at a couple of what that looks like here. This is a condo here. You're at 1.7 for 2,400 square feet. You have a one bedroom little guy for $525 next door, so probably an older building. So these things can differentiate quite a bit. Here we have what they're going to call a condo, but it is kind of like a single family home. But you have 2,900 square feet at $2.2 million. So I think around here, if you're looking for a house around 2,000 square feet, you are going to be looking at a smaller lot, and you're going to be looking at around 1.8 to 2 million. There are going to be some homes that are higher than that. Some of these new constructions that they're placing that are still, they've got 3,700 square feet. They're closer to 3 million, but there's going to be a lot of condos over here. So that's just something to note as we look at to Moss Bay and downtown Kirkland. I'm going to point out one of my favorite restaurants. And where is it? I'm going to go back to our Google Maps here. So Daru, I don't know how I could have forgotten about it. And this looks far, but from here, from downtown Kirkland to Daru, I don't know, 15-minute walk. It's pretty easy. And this is in such a weird location in this neighborhood. It looks like it doesn't belong here at all. But if you have a chance to go to Daru, super, farm to table very chill vibe. Their cake slices are absolutely amazing, so I recommend it. Honestly, with Kirkland, I have a lot of favorites, as you can tell. So if you ever need a particular cuisine and you just need recommendations, let me know. I'll definitely help you out on there. So as we move north, we are going to look at two different neighborhoods here. And we're going to call it's Easton Market and Weston Market. Let's start with Easton Market first. Now, Market Street is this here that connects downtown Kirkland and up to Juanita. So Weston Market, Easton Market. We're gonna, Norkirk, I tend to kind of include in Easton Market, so we're gonna include pretty much this area, and then we're gonna talk about the Highlands because this is going to be a separate area. So let's talk about Easton Market first, all right? Easton Market, I love these two neighborhoods. This is all very residential, but it's very easy to walk to downtown Kirkland. You're kind of perched up a little bit on a hill, so you do have some homes here that have great views looking west. And it's known to be a great neighborhood, very high in demand. As you can see, it's going to really range with, we do see some cottages here and there, but mostly single family homes. you're going to see not gigantic lots. Some homes might be able to get on a bigger lot, but as we look at the real estate here, I'm just going to show you a couple things. It's going to range. I mean, it can range up to 4 to 5 million easily. Looks kind of like a tear down at 2 million. If we look at 1.2, so this is one of the cottages. If we want to take a quick look at it, it's 1,200 square feet, almost 1,300, 2-bedroom. But you are paying for the location here. Okay, and let's see, we have here 2.7 for 300 square feet. This is new, not newer, but kind of a contemporary style. I've been to this house, it's quite nice. So you get an idea of where we're at here and what we're seeing in East Market. Again, super convenient location, great homes. It's just great to walk around. Here we have a $4 million home at 4,900 square feet. So I tend to see more below 5. If we're looking at 5 million, we're going to go over to West of Market. So as we talk about that, I'll give you the scoop on West of Market. Now this is like the creme de la creme. This is in my personal opinion, I think this is the nicest area, and it should be in regards to pricing as well, is the nicest area in Kirkland. There's just something about it. These homes are beautiful. They're all looking southwest. You're by the water. Again, most of these, once you get up here, it's a little bit further, but you can walk to downtown Kirkland within all of this. So, beautiful homes. You can find a lot larger homes. Some of them are on huge lots, and they are a little bit pushed in there together. But again, it's in high demand, and it makes sense. As you can see, there's not going to be huge lots. There's a great park. If you're talking about lifestyle, again, you can walk everywhere. This is a park that is great for walking around. There's some tennis courts here. This is another park. It's a beach, so you take the kids down to there. You just have a great time. Then if you are really wanting a great walk, it also leads to Juanita Bay and Juanita Bay Park. So you could walk all the way down here, walk around. This is another great park. People bird watch here a lot, and lots of things to do. Now with that, it can come some heavier prices. So we are seeing anything from, and I should mention, I'm sorry as well, is that you're going to have waterfront homes too. So when you take the average price here, it's going to be a lot higher, because not only do you have homes that might be 2 million, you also have homes that might be 10 plus million for the waterfront properties. So this home, for example, is not waterfront, but it's large. It's 7,000 square feet at 7.8 million. This is going to be the cottages. So you're still looking at 1-2 for 1,200 square feet, which is kind of similar. There's a beautiful new construction here. It should be right here. Oh, I don't know where it is, but there's beautiful, new construction at 5.5 million. And then again, these homes right here are going to be all waterfront, and these can range 8 million plus. So just depends on the property, but West of Market is, amazing. It is, in my opinion, the nicest area in Kirkland, and we do see the prices reflect that. So as we make our way over to Highlands, Highlands is a unique area in the sense that there's also, I don't want to say it reminds me of Bridle Trails, because it's nothing like it, but in the same time, as you get away from right around, I don't know, here, you have a lot more trees around, so you do feel like you're kind of away from the city. Walkability to downtown Kirkland is going to be dependent on where you are. You can definitely, if you're, around here, you can definitely take a longer walk and walk down the hill. But it's just going to take a little bit longer. Now the Highlands is really strictly, I would say, residential. There's nothing, besides having Daru Market that's right here kind of close by, nothing else is going to be crazy here in regards to like shopping. Here you do have a kind of athletic field and parks, but it's going to be very residential. These homes are going to also be pretty pretty diverse. There's still neighborhoods that are kind of those 1980s and older homes, and you can find those for under, $2 million. I've definitely seen them. And then if you're looking at, there's some new constructions there, so it's going to vary quite a bit. But I will say there is some opportunity in, I'd say the north of the Highlands to get things under 2 million that are 2,000 plus square feet, which is nice because the average, price is going to be higher than that. So let's take a quick look at those homes. So as we go into the MLS here, again, there's not a lot for sale, but just to show, this is a home that is, 1980s build that was remodeled recently, 2,000 square feet, and it's at 2 million. So that is like brand new renovated though. This home is at 1.2, most likely a cottage, in which it is. And then we have a couple of townhomes as well as here. But I did pull up the stats for the Highlands, and let me just pull it up here. So median was so over the last 6 months, just because we don't have a lot of inventory, I wanted to pull the numbers, but median was about 1.8 million, while the average was about 2 million. So again, you can find homes that are, on the 2,000 square foot, the lower end, and you can find those below 2 million, which is great. We've seen anything go up, much higher than that. I've seen 3.5, but you're not going to get in the Highlands. It's likely that you're not going to get, 4 to 5 million like you are in the Easton market and Weston market. Okay, yay. We are done with 98033. We have gone through all the 98033. So now we're going to go 98034 to the north, and we're going to start with Juanita. Juanita's a pretty, big area. So we've got North Juanita, South Juanita, and then as we move over to the kind of northwest, this is all still kind of considered Juanita up here as well. This is going to be kind of a Finn Hill area. Again, I'm going big. And then this is going to be somewhere around 145th is going to be the edge of Kirkland, and it's going to be kind of on this border of Kenmore and Bothell. So we're going to talk about Juanita as kind of a whole right here, because as we saw on the average price points, we will see more different pricing in this area. Okay, whoops. And living in Juanita, it is nice. So you still have close proximity to downtown Kirkland. You can get here in 5 to 10 minutes if you're around here. You have a really great park, which is over here. Juanita Beach Park, there's a playground. The farmers market happens. One of the farmers markets happens here in the summer on Fridays. This is a cute little, it's the Juanita Village. So you have a coffee shop. So this place is great. Urban Coffee. This is Juanita Cafe. If you look up, nicest restaurants in Seattle, this is going to be one of them. It's going to be the tasting menus. It's going to be a little bit on the pricier side, but it's very nice and it's very good. All right, you also have Walgreens here, so you kind of have what you need, and you are going to go up. You're going to have the grocery store. It doesn't look like it here, but it's going to be over here. The grocery store is going to be up there for QFC, and then you also are going to, again, have kind of this quick, nice, if you're in Juanita, you're going to have a quick drive to Trader Joe's, to Whole Foods at that Totem Lake area that I had mentioned. There's also going to be Evergreen Hospital over here. Juanita High School has been growing on their great schools rating as well. But I will say, as you get up here, we have a lot of elementary schools, middle schools. We have a lot of 8 and 9s over in this Kirkland area. As we get up here, we do see a little bit more 8s. We have a few 9s, and we do have a couple 7s. So it just depends. They're all great schools in hindsight. But as we kind of get north here, we start bordering Kenmore and Bothell, and you get out of the Kirkland zone. If we're talking about pricing, there's going to be condos here, there's going to be single families, there's going to be cottages. There's kind of a little bit of everything. We're going to look at North Juanita in a second, but if you can just see here, so these are going to be condos. You can find, beautiful waterfront condos for 1.2. You can find big new constructions at 3.4 million. This is a little condo at 380. So I've seen anything from, in the 300s in Juanita for condos up to, $1 million, 2 million plus if it is like a true big waterfront condo. And then as for single family homes, you can find 2,000 to 3,000 square feet and still be in that, 1.5 million range, 1.2, 1.3 if you're going to North Juanita. All right. And then, well, let's just see here. So, okay, we're going to just look at homes in the North Juanita area here. This has a lot more, if you can tell. So these are going to be some condos, a couple of houses. Again, I mean, you can find a small little house at 1.35. This is a main road though, so you don't want to stay too close to that. We have some larger cottages, 1.7 for 2,200 square feet. And as we get up here, I mean, this is, again, little starter home, what I would call it for this area, about 1,300 square feet at 1.25. So we can find things that are reasonably priced, below 1.5. But if you come up here, the new constructions, this is an area that has great views. So we could see things that are easily above 2 to 3 million. I'm sorry. Of 2 to 3 million. This is going to be waterfront, so we have a $10 million home. So it's going to be different quite a bit. As we get into Finn Hill, I'm just going to go into it here and just show you what the houses are kind of going for. As we get into Finn Hill, the lifestyle is going to be similar to Juanita depending on where you are. So this is all very residential, lots of trees. You can be on a hill, so for example, this little area right here is really, really high. So if you don't like driving in the snow, this is very steep hills. Sometimes you might not be able to leave if we have an ice storm. Just things to note. So very residential in regards to Finn Hill. You're close to Juanita. I will say as you get out, if you're more over here and west of Finn Hill, it does take a little bit of time to get to the freeway, but again, you're more residential, you don't have a lot of riffraff around you, and what's cool about living over on this side is that you have most waterfront areas here you're going to see do not have, downtown Kirkland won't have views of Mount Rainier because it's south. Once you get up to Finn Hill over here, you actually can see Mount Rainier from a lot of the boating or some homes, which is very, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sighting on a nice clear day. And then in Finn Hill, you also are going to have, sorry, we're going on the MLS map. Let me just move over here. This is St. Edward Park. This is a huge state park as well. So there are trails that come down to the water. There's a little beach trail, so you could bring your seat and go hang out there. The lodge at St. Edward's Park is this great. They reinvented and remodeled this. I forgot what it was, a monastery or I forget. But now it's a great hotel. You can go eat dinner there, walk around the grounds. It's really pretty. So this area, like I said, pretty residential, but there is a grocery store up here. So, you don't have to go all the way down to Juanita or Totem Lake for that. But if we are looking at the home prices, they are going to be, more favorable than downtown Kirkland per se, and they're going to range. So you can still find homes for under $2 million. This is a home 2,900 square feet for 1.75. You can find this is a 3-bed 2,250 at 2. You're going to find these are also going to be waterfront homes, so you can find some higher priced there. So there's a lot of opportunity in this area. It's just going to be a little bit different lifestyle, but you still have that Kirkland address and you're still close enough to everything else Kirkland. All right. The last part I'm going to talk about is going to be Kingsgate and Totem Lake. So this is Kingsgate and Totem Lake. Totem Lake has grown astronomically. So before, I've mentioned Trader Joe's and Whole Foods quite a bit. This used to be, an ugly commercial center with like an Old Town buffet, like a car toys. But now we have this beautiful Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, tons of Sephora. They've got a movie theater here. So this is great. You're close to everything that you're going to need. And as we look into the Kingsgate neighborhood here, as you can tell, it's pretty residential. So living in near Totem Lake, Kingsgate, we're going to have a lot of an array. I don't see like huge mansions over here, but what we do have is a lot of great like split level homes, or homes, you know, I don't know, 1,500 to 3,000 square feet. We see a lot of those. And there's a huge park. There's a middle schools over here as well. And what's great about Kingsgate is that you are very close. So you've got Totem Lake down here, but you're also close to Wine District. If you like wine, it's awesome. There's going to be a road here. You can either get on the freeway to go to downtown Woodinville, but this is going to be Kingsgate. Let me get my brush here. So if you're somewhere over here, you can just take a quick drive and get down to, this is where Chateau Ste. Michelle is, one of the new hotels, the Somme, but lots of wine tasting rooms. Or you can get on the freeway and go to downtown Woodinville that has even more wine, but grocery shopping, movie theaters as well, so a little bit of everything. If we go to look at homes in Kingsgate, I'm going to show you kind of what the vibe here is. There are going to be some condos and apartment buildings that are a little bit older and maybe not as nice. So I do think the crime in Kingsgate is a little bit higher than other areas in Kirkland, but new construction, yeah, of course, it could be $2 million. I'm just finishing. There was more. This is going to be like little condos, so you can find 300,000, 400,000. Excuse me. Here's some kind of cottages, townhomes at 1.4. But if there's nothing available right now, okay, here's a house at $995. It looks like it's a little bit of a fixer. But usually if we see like a split level home, let me see if I can go to the solds to show you maybe what sold in the last 60 days so you can get a look at what these houses look like. 845, 935 for kind of a single family, 2,400 square feet. There are going to be power lines over here too to keep an eye out. This is more of like a realistic house here. All right, this is sold 3,000 square feet. It's got 5 bedrooms, sold at 1.265. But this is a split level home and it's been, you know, it looks like it's rather renovated. But this is very typical in Kingsgate. But you can find things, you know, 1.2 to 1.3. Again, they are starting to build a little bit more, which is nice. And so for the most part, that's going to, you know, conclude our very long Kirkland tour, but I hope this was helpful. And again, for someone who's lived in pretty much almost every neighborhood in Kirkland, I know exactly what to look for, what's around it, what to do. So if you have any questions, if you're thinking about making a move in Kirkland, you know, there's no other better person to reach out to than myself. All right, so DM or message me for more info or a specific neighborhood guide, or just to know the stats and keep updates of what the pricing is doing for each neighborhood.